How to break free from complacency and build a thriving practice. Let's talk about something no one likes to talk about, but every practice owner faces it at some point. You wake up, you go to the clinic, you handle patients, you deal with the staff issues, you put out fires, you go home, and you do it all over again the very next day. Somewhere along the way, you stop pushing for more, you stopped expecting more. And it's not like you don't want to grow, it's just that every time you've tried, you hit a wall, you walk away feeling exhausted, and maybe even ready to throw in the towel. Or maybe you implemented something new, but your staff didn't buy in. Or maybe you pushed a marketing strategy and it just didn't work out the way you expected. Or maybe you set bigger goals but got overwhelmed and gave up before even starting. And so little by little, you stopped pushing. You settled into the routine and you became complacent. But let me ask you this, does your current day-to-day routine actually feel good to you? Or does it feel like you're just going through the motions, waiting for something to change? Is that you? The truth is, nothing changes until you change. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to break free, regain control, and create a thriving practice, and one that runs efficiently, grows consistently, and actually excites you once again. And so at the end of this video, I have something for you. A free coaching call where we'll work together to pinpoint one of 6 areas that's holding you back so that you know exactly the next step you need to take to drive your expansion. So stick with me. So part 1 is the trap of complacency and past failures. The reason most practice owners stop pushing for more isn't because they don't care, it's because they've tried and it didn't work. So let's be real. You've implemented things in your practice that failed, and you've set goals that you never reached. You've tried to get your staff on board with a new system of some sort, only to be met with resistance. And when that happens, enough times, you start believing, maybe this is just the way it is. Or maybe my team isn't capable of more. Or maybe I should stop trying and just accept how things are. And that's exactly how you get stuck. But here's the truth. The failures weren't your problem. Giving up was. Because every failure is just data. It's feedback. It tells you what worked, what didn't, and what to adjust. The real danger isn't failing. It's stopping before you find what actually works. And that's why practice owners who succeed at the highest level don't get it right the first time. They just keep going longer than everyone else who just gave up. This reminds me of a client I had from the Atlantic coast of Florida. He had a small practice, but he had big aspirations. He started training with us and was electrified to learn some newfound leadership and management skills, and he was ready to put those plans into action. He was really on fire. Well, he was on fire until he got back to the office on Monday morning. To say that he had some pushback to executing his expansion plans would be an understatement. It was a flat-out rejection from his staff of most of the changes that he needed to make. Steve, fortunately, was aware that change would be met with resistance, so he took smaller bites and he kept soldiering on. After about 6 months of pushing the rock up the hill all alone, when most practice owners would have given in to the complacency of the team, Steve had had enough. He fired everyone. He then hired a new set of staff and grew from 1 clinic to 5 clinics in Melbourne, Florida, along with opening a $1 million cash practice. The greatest barrier Steve had to reaching his goals was due to the mediocre team that he initially assembled. The thing is, if you tolerate mediocrity, don't be surprised when it happens. You need to aim bigger and keep moving. Steve didn't stop. And the way that you keep moving is to focus on the 6 key areas of practice success. So part 2, the 6 key areas of practice success. If you want a thriving, stress-free practice, you need to master 6 areas. Number 1, external marketing. There should be standard actions that you take week after week to attract new patients, or you'll always be stuck in the hamster wheel. If you don't know how to do this, you should take our new patient marketing course. Number 2 is internal marketing. This is the reactivation of past patients and getting patients to actively refer friends and family. So the thing is if your patients aren't completing care, your marketing efforts will be wasted. So great control of this area is key. If you have happy patients but you fail to figure out how to get them to refer friends and family in volume, then you'll need my Happy Patient VIP system installed into your practice. This will help you capitalize on the gold mine that's inside your practice. Number 3 of the 6 keys to practice success is patient compliance. It is vital that you know how to sell your plan of care, how to educate your patients on the expected case progression that takes place throughout their care. Patient compliance is really about selling the value of physical therapy, and if you need help with that, you should take our patient compliance compliance course. Number 4 is schedule book control. Your front desk is a shepherd and the flock are your patients. Any patient who is yet to be discharged is owned by your front desk. They own them. He or she must always know who they are, where they are, when they'll be back in, and that they're scheduled on the frequency that's prescribed by their clinician. The receptionist can be a make-break in the practice, so don't tolerate mediocrity in this position at all. Number 5 is revenue cycle management. Too many practice owners know too little about the revenue cycle and are held captive by their billing team. We can train you on what you must know if you're interested, and we can also take over your billing entirely if that's something that you wish to have happen. A shift of a couple of dollars per visit can make a huge difference to your bottom line, so you need to know your numbers and don't fly blind. Number 6 is clinician recruitment. The greatest barrier to expansion is not the lack of new patients, believe it or not, it's the lack of competent clinicians in the workforce. If you do not rank recruitment of personnel as high as your efforts to drive in new patients, you will suffer. You may end up having to tolerate subpar performance from some clinical staff because you failed to get the word out that you're looking for clinicians to join your team even when you have no position currently available. Your clinicians give you a 2-week notice, but it could take you 6 months to find their replacement. If you're not actively looking for staff every week, you are not planning to grow. I have a recruitment division to recruit for you to procure your ideal applicant. The only reason I set this up in the first place was due to the failure of so many practice owners to take recruitment seriously, especially after becoming our clients, because if you become our client, your practice is going to grow. So here are the 6 key areas of practice success once again: internal marketing, external marketing, patient compliance, schedule book control, revenue cycle management, and clinician recruitment. So here's a question I'd like to ask you. Which of these 6 areas are you neglecting? Because I can guarantee if your practice isn't where it needs to be, at least one of these areas is completely out of alignment. And the worst part, most practice owners know what's missing. They just don't know how to fix it. Hey, if you enjoy this content and you find it helpful, would you consider subscribing to the channel? I'm on a mission to help as many PT owners break free from private practice slavery, and I would consider it an honor if you would subscribe. All right, so you see, fixing any practice requires leadership, because if you don't take control of these areas, no one else will. So part 3, how to regain control and get your team on board. Now let's talk about the biggest excuse I hear from practice owners. My team won't listen. I've tried, but I couldn't get them to buy in. I don't want to push too hard or make people uncomfortable. They just might quit. Look, if you let your fear of resistance stop you, you'll never lead effectively. All change, again, is met with resistance every single time. That's why great leaders don't try to force people into compliance. They lead them into it. And the best way to do that is the Teflon Drill. The next time someone on your team comes up to you with a problem, instead of solving the problem, ask, what do you think you should do? Right? So they come to you with a problem, they go, I don't know how to do such and such. You go, what do you think you should do? You're letting that problem slide right off of you. Okay? So next time someone on your team comes up to you with a problem, instead of solving it, ask them, what do you think you should do? And if they hesitate or they push back with anything, you say, if you did know, what would you do? When you stop the answer machine, your team stops relying on you for everything, and they start thinking for themselves, and they step up, and suddenly you have a team that actually supports you. Are you ready to stop spinning your wheels, stop second guessing, and actually build a practice that grows, runs smoothly, and gives you the life that you want? If you are, I want to personally help you. That's why I'm offering a free coaching call where we'll do 3 things. 1, we'll identify exactly which of the 6 key areas are holding you back. Number 2, we're going to give you actionable steps that you can implement right away, right after our call, to regain more control. And number 3, we'll show you how to get your team to fully buy in and take ownership of their respective areas. Click on the link below, book your call, let's map out your next steps together. If you're ready, let's make it happen. Click on the link, schedule your call, and I'll see you there.